What is a mystery actually? Today the church celebrates the solemnity of the Most Holy Trinity. Sometimes that can kind of make us, I think, a little bit nervous. How do we explain the Trinity? We say it's a mystery, but what does that really mean? Maybe we need to just believe it and move on to the next thing. And actually, I love preaching on the Most Holy Trinity because I think it's sadly often very much misunderstood. And the last thing we want to do is say, it sounds complicated, move on to the next thing. That would be the worst thing we can do because there's something deeply beautiful here if we're willing to look at it. Here's the way I've heard it described best. When we look at a mystery, and we do say the Trinity is a mystery, when we look at a mystery, we're not saying, too complicated, nothing to see here, on to the next thing. When we look at a mystery, we're not saying, we can't say anything about this. It's too far above us, there's nothing to say, move on to the next thing. No. When we look at a mystery in the faith, we aren't saying we can't say anything about it. Instead, what we're saying is we can't say enough about it. That we can certainly look at this and discover some very true, tangible, and relevant truths about this. But in doing so, we haven't exhausted it. There's still so much more. There's not darkness in a mystery, there's too much light. It's so clear. It's so deep, it's so intelligible that it's hard to even comprehend. That there's a depth in a mystery, there's too much light that you could spend your entire life studying this and learn a lot, but never get to the end. If you had a credit card that had no limit, you wouldn't say, that's mystery, get rid of it. You would say, this is awesome. If you had a loaf of bread that you could keep cutting and it lasted forever, you wouldn't say, this is a mystery, throw it out. You would say, this is incredible. Hang on to this is a treasure. And it's the same way with the Trinity. At the end of the day, eternity for us, going to last forever, right? Would you want to be with people who you figured them out immediately and then for the rest of eternity you were bored because you figured it all out? Would you want to spend eternity with a God who you will be endlessly discovering forever? A God who, for all eternity, you will be continuing to learn new things about. That's the beauty of the Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are inviting us to this deep, mysterious, unending love that ultimately is the only place we'll be satisfied.